Welcome back to the Data Science Lab, everybody. This is a place where we get together every Tuesday to pair code as a community, and we have a different data lab manager every week. Today, I am joined by my co-host, Isabella Velasquez. Isabella, would you like to say hello?
Hi everyone, thanks for joining. I'll be posting the links.
Yes, Isabella is absolutely on top of links in the chat. So if you are wondering what we are using or talking about today, and you think that there might be a link, give it a second. Isabella will probably put it in the chat. She's so fast and amazing. And I would love to introduce our lab manager for today, Joey Marshall. Joey, would you introduce yourself?
Yes, thank you so much, Libby. It's nice to see everyone. I'm Joey Marshall, and this is Tofu. You can't tell that he's a cat because of the shape that he's in, but he's typically a cat. And collectively, we are VP of Data Science at Vericite, survey and public opinion research firm. I know a lot of you, though, through the Posit Data Science Hangout community, just because I lurk in the Discord and so for the longest time, I was a scientist at the Census Bureau. So Joey from Census is the same as current Joey. I don't know. We change a lot over the course of our lives. Am I exactly the same? Kind of.
We're a
Um,
million different people. Well, I bet a lot of people will remember you because you ask a lot of great questions at the Data Science Hangout. And I have been told before, I have been sent many a DM. Who is that guy who just asked that question? He has a podcast voice. I'm like, he sure does. Joey and I need a podcast. Well, I will say Tofu is adorable and makes me want to ask Lauren to share her cat Nightmare in the chat somewhere. Share us a picture of Nightmare, Lauren, because Lauren has a very adorable black cat too. All right, well, Joey, today our plan is for you to walk us through how you use Claude Code. Um, we do not always talk about AI and LLMs and stuff on the Data Science Lab. We cover all kinds of topics. Today we happen to be talking about AI. And Joey, you have been using LLMs regularly for your data and other workflows for how long?
oh, a long time. I mean, definitely, I was using, the early LLMs before there were transformer models to do work, before they were any good, really. That was kind of in the before times. Ever
Yeah.
since ChatGPT and Claude and Gemini have gotten good, I've increasingly used LLMs both to build things for people, either employers I've worked for full time, or I've done in the past some side contract work for employers who wanted things built with LLMs. So that would be like fine tune an LLM or do a wrapper around an LLM in order to create something for our customers. So that's one use case. But then the other use case, which is kind of more central today, which is pair programming with LLMs, like using Claude Code to help me build stuff, which I increasingly do. And that's probably more relevant to today's chat.
Yes, absolutely. And I say we go ahead and start screen sharing and start working through what we're going to do today, which is working through a TidyTuesday data set, but giving Claude a lot more free reign than I would in an analysis. This is going to be fun. And while we are doing that, Noor has our first question today in the Discord, which is for someone who's bearish on AI, what benefit does using something like Claude Code bring? And second question, which I want you to answer first, what's your favorite pie?
Ooh, hey Noor. My favorite pie is that pie that you posted in the Discord last night because it's the most beautiful pie I've ever seen. And uh, I really like your question on being bearish about AI. I'm even reluctant to assume that identity myself. And that's something I'll try to be sensitive to as we go through like today, we're going to intentionally use Claude Code and really push it to the max and try really hard not to do anything hands-on. That's not a representation of the way that I always work. But I think some reasons to be skeptical, especially for us, data scientists, would be statistical errors. Whatever you build needs to be accurate. Um, There are security risks like giving secrets and like your API keys and tokens to Claude Code and just exposing your file system to Claude Code. It's a CLI tool. I'll those are all reasons not to be bearish about AI, but there are a lot of good reasons actually to appreciate working with it too and to try and strike a balance. And for me, that's that. I mean, obviously, I can work a lot faster with Claude Code. That's not always a virtue. Sometimes being slow is preferable. But if it's something that needs to just work, let's say it's like a front end tool. I'm not a front end developer. I don't need a production grade front end tool. I just need a clicky interactive thing that will work as a proof of concept, and then I can hand it over to real software engineers to build that kind of thing. Then AI is great for that. First of all, I know it's not making any statistical errors because I'm not asking it to do any statistics in that case. I just want it to, mock up like a simple front end, which it's great at. And you can just fly through tasks like that with Claude Code. In more sensitive stuff, you have to be a lot more careful, build in a lot of unit testing, look at a lot of stuff hands-on. So, but the other thing is always learn a ton from Claude Code, and I think this is true of all the AI agents. They're great teachers, and like what Wikipedia used to be. Just I mean, I still love
Oh,
Wikipedia, but it's like a great jumping off point. Well, I just don't get me. I still use Wikipedia all the time,
no, I mean
but
me too.
right?
Yeah, I think that we will demonstrate some of this stuff as we go through today. And Kieran just said in the chat that Claude's loop, where it can be permitted to like use local resources to write, to run, to test code on your machine, to read output from it, turns out to be really a powerful way to iterate on things. And I think we'll do a little bit of iteration today and demonstrate that. So the first thing that we will do is I'm guessing tell Claude what we want to do. And what are we looking at here? We have your terminal is up and we don't have Claude open yet.
That's right. This is just an empty terminal. And I'm not using okay, I'm on a MacBook Pro, so you know what computing system I'm using. And my terminal here is through cmux. I have a list of stuff that I use, and Isabella and Libby can share that at the end. I've shared it with them. I like cmux because it has nice vertical tabs. Check this out. I can spawn up all these terminals and have them all doing different things in these pretty little
Oh,
vertical tabs.
very cool.
cmux. cmux also hooks into Claude's hooks, so you can get like desktop notifications whenever your Claude's done doing stuff, whatever. I don't sell this product. It's free, cmux. Okay, we're looking at a bare terminal, and I have some terminal aliases set up, which are, if you don't use the terminal a lot, you'll have some configuration file depending on your operating system you can enter some characters and they'll translate to other kinds of characters. So for me, the terminal alias dv just puts me in my dev directory. So I'm on the directory like Joey/dev. Are the letters on my terminal big enough to see?
That's a great question. Could you do one additional zoom in, which might be like a command plus sign as well?
It looks like command equals.
Oh, command equals. Oh, wait,
Oh,
same button.
plus is the same thing as equals.
Same button. All right.
Promise I'm a computer man.
This is good.
Uh,
We had some feedback on the YouTube that was like, why is the screen so small? So we really want to make sure that people can see this later.
Also, if you want to watch somebody bumble around and not always know what they're doing,
That's the point. That's why we're
I'm
here.
your
Okay,
man.
so remind me what the alias DV does one more time.
It just CDs into, whatever my directory is,
Okay.
users, Joey, dev. I'm about to use another terminal alias, which is ccdp. Okay, so normally you would start Claude like this. You got to spell it right. That was collude. So you would start Claude like this, and you can have some flags, like if you want it to be able to access Chrome, and if you want to dangerously skip permissions. This is sometimes called vibe coding mode, whatever. So I have a terminal alias called ccdp that is going to boot up Claude Code for me. And you'll notice it just asked me for my fingerprint password. That's because I'm running Claude Code inside of a 1Password's command line tool. This is also in my list of resources. 1Password, it's just a password manager, but it has a secrets manager that can interact with your command line. You can run Claude Code inside of it, and that lets you do really useful stuff like keep your passwords secret. So all Claude Code sees is a link to a password, not an actual password. I'll say more about that later. Now we're in Claude Code, and uh, let me just grab this data and pull it over. I've never worked with this before. It's about frogs. That is about the extent of what I know. So we are going to do this in real time. Can you see my whole screen? Like, I'm sharing like a README
Yep.
from a GitHub right now. Okay,
Yep.
cool.
We're looking at the Australian frogs data set from TidyTuesday, which is, I believe, week 35 from 2025. I think it's last year.
That was an incredible display of memory. Just,
Can you tell that I work with TidyTuesday a lot? So
just
much.
casually dropped a extremely exact date. Um, okay, so we've got this frog ID data. This README gives us instructions on how to read it using R. And we're kind of going fast and having fun. So I'm just going to copy this URL and then we're just going to drop this into Claude Code and ask it to explain it. I'm using voice dictation to communicate with Claude Code, an app called Wispr Flow. It's also in the list of resources. I'm doing a live demo of Claude Code, and we need to build some kind of data product within about 45 minutes. So don't let me down. That's the first thing I'm going to say to Claude. I really need it to be on its best behavior. The first thing I want you to do is to explore this data set. Tell me about it, make sure you can read it, and just explain the data a little bit to me. And then we're going to drop this URL in and let that cook. Okay, while this is cooking, I want to quickly explain what I was saying before about wrapping my Claude Code command in the 1Password's password manager. Okay,
Perfect.
so often okay, it's doing stuff, downloading CSVs. Great. Often when you work with an AI agent, um, if you want the agent to be able to do things autonomously, you need to be able to share secrets, API tokens, credentials for stuff, URLs to things that may not be public, whatever. And it's common, I think, in practice to drop those in like a .env file, .env in your directory. And Python has libraries to like called like .env to whatever. And so, but the problem is you've exposed a list of secrets in plain text on your machine. If it's a shared computing environment, that's really risky. And uh, also, if you accidentally commit that, that's a real problem. So I want to talk about how I manage secrets, but I'm going to take a breath because Claude's done and we're going to look at Claude. So put an asterisk in what I was saying about secrets and let's see what Frog says. Frog. Let's see what Claude says. This comes from Frog ID, a citizen science project where people across Australia record frog calls via a mobile app. There are two files, frogIDdata.csv. It's got about 140,000 records. Each row is a frog call recording with lawn coordinates. We may can do something geospatial. Uh,
Woohoo!
state and which I guess are top level geographies in Australia, and recorder ID. Okay, cool. 186 unique species. That seems like a lot to me. How many is
I
or not
mean,
a
it's a
lot?
lot, but it's a diverse place. By the way, as a little bit of background, GIS stuff, spatial stuff, is what Joey does. It's like Joey's specialty. It's what he did at Census. So this would be a fun thing to do if Claude could help us.
Oh, well, now I've been overhyped. Please manage your expectations. I'm just kidding. New South Wales dominates with 43% of records, followed by Victoria and Queensland. Okay, and then we got frog names, which just maps the scientific names to common names. Okay, cool. What kind of data product are you thinking? An interactive map, dashboard, analysis, or something else? So here's what I'm going to do. Let's do some interactivity. I'm going to get Claude to give us a few ideas, and then we can all decide as a group what we want to do.
Perfect.
It's a safe place, right? We're among friends.
We are among
Um,
friends. And while Claude is cooking, we will talk a little bit more about secrets and then we'll get to David's question that happened in the chat. But I'll let you talk because I know that you're going to dictate.
I'm too lazy to press buttons on my keyboard. Actually, if you have carpal tunnel, which I do a little bit, the voice dictation can really help. So I voice dictate almost everything to keep my wrist from being messed up at work. So it's like an ergonomics thing too. I want to let the audience decide what project we will build exactly. So why don't you propose three interesting projects? It could be stuff like overlapping the frog data with like population demographic data from Australia. That's just one example. Maybe something geospatial and interesting. Basically, just stuff that you think is feasible that you, Claude Code, can help me build in just a few minutes, and that is interesting to look at. So, a web app is a good idea. Um, I have access to Vercel if we want to build a web app and deploy it in real time. Maybe we'll create a GitHub repo, deploy whatever we build to Vercel, and then I can share all that stuff with the audience. But give me three of your best ideas and make sure that they are interesting and feasible. Just stream of consciousness garbage
Joey,
words to
we
Claude.
all thought you were talking to us. We all instantaneously forgot that you were talking to the computer, and we were like racking our brains to figure out suggestions to give you. People in the chat were like, "What are we going to ask Joey?"
Oh my God. I said-
That was amazing. How instantly our memories just blipped, and we were like, "No idea what he's doing. What is he talking to us?" No, he was dictating. Everybody was dictating to the computer. That was amazing. And actually the reading through the transcription of what it gave you was amazing because mine would have been filled with large silence gaps and ums and like all kinds of filler words. You're doing great dictation.
I'm actually not. A lot of that is in Wispr Flow. It's again like everything is AI. It's like AI all the way down.
But you
It's like
did
an
great.
AI voice dictation app, so it cleans up the dumb stuff that I
We
say.
are
But
all just cracking up in the chat because we were so sure you were talking to us. Okay, so David's question that he had asked, I think we're gonna leave it with the solution that we have in the chat, which is actually one of Simon Couch's blog posts on LLM evaluation. Because David had asked, have you done any analysis of how the different generative AIs perform doing the kind of work you're doing? I think that the analysis part, Simon Couch just like goes way above and beyond anything that any of the rest of us have done. But what is your general vibe sensing on the different types of models, specifically like Codex versus Claude for what you like to do?
that's a great question. I should have said at the beginning, I'm using Opus. I think 4.6 is the latest Claude Code generation here. Codex is getting better. I tend to use it less for vibe reasons because it feels less. Let me give a more intelligent answer. Um, Definitely read Simon's analysis. I do most of my work in Claude Code using um, using Opus. You burn through tokens really fast that way. Uh, Sonnet is fine for light engineering stuff. I tend to only use Haiku, Claude's smallest model, for like LLM tasks, like when I want an LLM to do something, like read some words and extract something or whatever. Um, I did build an integration once, and you can find it on my LinkedIn and GitHub and stuff, where I could ask Claude Code. I could give Claude Code the autonomous ability to get a code review from Codex on the same machine. And I liked that for a while until Claude Code's own code reviewer sub agent was created, I think in the last generation or two. So you can ask Claude Code to deploy its own code reviewer. It's like code hyphen reviewer sub agent, which is a much better code reviewer in my opinion. So I just haven't used Codex all that much recently. Uh, Sorry that I can't give you a better answer. I'm using Opus right now.
That is totally okay. And Becca had also asked a follow on onto this whole prompt, which we are about to look at and go over the results of. She asked, with your Claude prompts, what components are you intentionally saying versus what did you feel free to be more liberal about? And I'm guessing that means like let Claude interpret on its own instead of specifying. And are there any aspects of your prompts that are directly influenced by your training as a data scientist?
Oh, that's a great question. I used to try to be very precise in my prompts, and just anecdotally, I've learned that the more words the more human language I can give agents, the better they perform. I mean, think about what it's doing. It's taking your prompt, it's getting an embedding, and then it's moving all that context back and forth and back and forth every time. And so, like, in terms of it generating relevant text after what I've said, the more I can give it, the better. As a matter of fact, this is just like a general, I think, best practice is I tend to have Claude Code write as much documentation, maybe more, as it does code. In a second, we'll use planning mode, where it spins up a whole bunch of agents, does a whole bunch of reading and writing before it does anything. I'll have it write a bunch of documentation that we can reference. The same principle applies to prompts that I give it. I tend to just say a lot. And if you're unsure, just say even more. And that's why voice dictation I really appreciate. So
Okay,
I'm
perfect.
less precise and much more verbose with my prompts than I used to be.
I think we'll move on in just 2 seconds after we stick in Zach's question here, which is, um, how does the computer know that you're talking to the AI versus just talking? Like, is there a button you're pressing or a hotkey?
Yeah.
What a good question, Zach.
That's, I bet there's an accessibility feature that would let you like look at a different screen and talk
Right,
to
or be
it.
like, "Hey, Claude."
Yeah. Yeah, it's like yeah, you can set a hotkey. So I've assigned a hotkey that I
Okay.
hold down.
All right,
And
cool.
you can choose the hotkey.
Thanks, Zach. Well, Ijlal, I see that you had a question as well, and we will get back to that in just a second. Let's go ahead and review this code. Because we already have people voting in the chat about what option they like. So many people have said they like two out loud, but if I look at the vote Isabella put up with emojis, oh wow, the votes just changed. We have 9 votes for one, 7 votes for two, and 2 votes for three. So let's review.
People like frogs after dark,
One is winning
nightlife heat
so
map.
far. Oh, now they're tied. One and two are now tied. Let's see what we've got.
Sorry,
It
the
gave
poll
us
button.
three
Keeps changing.
proposals. All feasible as a single page web app that we can ship to Vercel in under 30 minutes. What the heck is Vercel, Joey?
Oh, it's just like another backend as a service app. I
Okay.
have so many of these goofy things, but Vercel, okay, there are like a million services that Vercel is probably one of them. I actually don't know what Vercel's backend is, and sorry
Like
if anyone.
DigitalOcean?
That's another example.
Okay, okay.
Um, it's for databasing, like I use Supabase a lot, like Railway for workers or GitHub Actions. All these like backend as a service things. A lot of times what they're doing is they're just like reselling you AWS, but what you're paying for is like a ton of convenience. So they're really doing some work to design away a lot of the friction in like getting a working thing online. So Vercel is just another like hosting and deployment environment, but it's super tailor-made for Python, which I work in a lot. And so you can just like put together and deploy a Python app and then layer on a little front end, and it kind of just works. Um, so I have a Vercel token anonymized in my environment here, and it's just like a quick way to get up and running. For your own org's enterprise solution, your org probably has something better with like software engineers on staff who can help you do it. But if you're just like doing stuff as a person and for proof of concept, all these services are, I think, pretty great and they're all pretty cheap. Usually everything
Okay.
is like 20 bucks. Like, but then it's like streaming services. You have $200 a month of $20 a month stuff, whatever. So who's the winner here of the options?
Isabella, who is our winner?
I think as it currently stands, it's option two. And apparently we get a pie if we
Yeah, well, no, I was hoping for, I mean, like, a nightlife heat map like sounds really cool, but I like that Claude is proposing like a radius query. I think that means we can make a little circle and then learn stuff about it. That's how I'm interpreting that. Um, so,
Let's do it.
okay, let's do option two. Here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna do this. Okay, option two is the winner. Would you please go into planning mode and do deep research on what we need to do to build and implement option two? At the end, I want this to be a GitHub repo that you can deploy to my personal GitHub. By the way, look in your global claude.md file for information on how we manage secrets. You should be able to see my personal GitHub pat in 1Password, and you should be able to use that to deploy to GitHub. Also, I would like for this to be an interactive web app. My Vercel token is also in 1Password. You should be able to get it there. Otherwise, I want to make sure that whatever we can build is feasible. You've thought through both the data that we need and the tech stack, uh, and also the aesthetics. I would like for this to be, well, it's about frogs, so I would like for this to have a cottagecore aesthetic. I'm going to ask the audience for a color scheme, and I'll provide you a color scheme later. Go into planning mode, think this through, and come back to me with an implementation plan.
Oh my goodness.
Right?
You guys, we need color schemes stat. Raha says cottagecore versus just green.
It's a good question.
She
I don't
she
know.
says, I think Joey would be a better interior designer than I would. Okay, we have so many questions, so let's get to them as fast as we can because we only have 30 minutes left, and I think that we can probably hit a few of them pretty easily. So let me see in my little questions here. We had one that was from Bruno that said, can you please ask Joey, do these voice to text things require a lot of hardware to work fine? Wispr Flow is cloud-based, I think.
It's a good question.
I don't know.
The I don't know how well Wispr Flow is optimized and whether it uses any kind of GPU acceleration, but you know what? I bet it does. Um, let's I don't know. Let's Google it. I can Google it. Can someone Google that? Does Wispr Flow use GPU acceleration? My MacBook Pro. This
Someone
is like a
in the chat can do this.
okay. I'm using like an M4 MacBook Pro, 48 gigabytes of shared memory and like a it has like a 12 core CPU and the GPU is I don't know, pretty beefy, you know. So it's like, but you know what? I also run Whisper Flow on my piece of trash Windows machine and it works fine. So it must be pretty well optimized.
I love it. Emily has put a cottagecore picture with literal hex code colors picked out of it, which is amazing. We're gonna go with that. Lots of people are like raising their hand and saying yes, that. Um, I don't know if you have that up, but I can stick it into the chat of Zoom as well so that other people can see it. Oh, that did not format very well, Zoom,
Oh, I
but
see
that's
it. No, I
okay.
see it.
But that's okay. Maybe it'll help Joey see it, maybe. And then I wanted to ask also, Zach says, Joey really does have a podcast voice. I think he could voice a nature documentary. I agree. We're gonna collab on this. Um, so JPS had asked, and I believe that that's Jacob Patterson Stein. Good buddy. Do you have advice on setting up agents that are working on the same folder? I worry that if I have too much going on in the same folder, it will create some sort of recursive confusion.
No, it can. Yeah, that's a real thing. There's a slash command, by the way, in Claude Code, which is slash BTW. It's like just to let it know while you're working. Here's something. I'm going to say, here's a screenshot with the color scheme and aesthetic vibe that I want. And then yeah, it's just Control V to drop that image in there. Um, okay. So this is probably not in my I can see the screenshot, but unfortunately I'm not able to view image files directly in this context. I can only see text content. Oh, maybe that's because it's in planning
Oh,
mode.
well, that's good. We have the text. Emily pulled out all those hex codes for us, which is fantastic.
Oh, okay.
Right above the image, if you want to grab those. And Isabella also put them in the Zoom chat in a very nice formatted way.
Nice. Okay, let's just drop those in. Or just describe it. Space enter or escape to. Ah! I pressed space and probably shouldn't have. Now it's just kind of rolling.
It's moseying. These color names are amazing. Noir Mystique, Avocado Stone, Desert
Seriously.
Temple. This is now ASMR. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I won't do that again. Okay. So Noor had also asked while we're cooking here, she's like, I know 1Password is a password manager, but like, how does Claude have access to it?
That's a great question. Okay, let's do both. Whoever asked about conflicting subagents,
JPS.
s- um, this is important. You can ask Claude to spin up subagents, or you can use the slash. Oh, look, love that palette. Very cottagecore. I've updated the plan with your colors. Okay, great. Um, This is a real problem. So you can use the slash agents command in Claude Code to either define your own subagents, or it has some like pre-baked subagents that you can use, like the code reviewer, and there are some other ones. Or you can just ask in natural language, please spin up agents to parallelize this task as much as possible, whatever, and it will try to do that. Those agents will um, Claude Code is pretty smart about delegating its tasks to its subagents. However, if you have multiple Claude Code sessions, so let's say I spun up a bunch of Claude Code sessions here and I had them all working and they were all working on the same repository, they will absolutely conflict with each other. And if you're doing stuff like that, you should use Git work trees. It's a little out of scope for today. That's like that would be like a whole data science lab using Git work trees. Um, but it basically provides like an OS level kind of barrier between the various agents so they won't conflict with each other. They kind of all get on their own branch and then do their work, and then merge conflicts are sort of designed away like that. So Git work trees are a thing in Git, but Claude Code is designed to integrate with Git work trees. So that's a great way to parallelize across multiple Claude Code sessions. Otherwise, for Claude just spinning up its own agents, like in planning mode, which we just did, Claude almost certainly spun up a whole bunch of subagents to do this, just to do specific tasks. Like, oh, you go off and research this part of the tech stack, and you go off and look at the data, and you get off or whatever. And you can see there are little commands, you can see them as they work. But get work trees if this is a concern. Noor asked about secrets. Okay, so 1Password has a command line interface or CLI tool. And what that allows you to do is to wrap your Claude command in a 1Password command called op run. And what that does is, let me just show you. Okay, so I'm back on a terminal. We're off of Claude Code, I'm back on a terminal, and I'm in my dev directory. I have all of my keys are in here. I'm not going to show them to you because actually they're not printed in plain text. I'm just going to show you the file. There's a file called env.env.1password. And these are my keys. Um, but they are not raw keys. There's nothing, this video can go on YouTube and no one can get anything from me here. They're just paths to my 1Password vaults. So you set up a vault in 1Password, you put all of your tokens in there, you call them things, and then instead of just a .env file with raw secrets, put in your paths to your 1Password vaults. And then the op command that you wrap Claude Code in, and I just dump all that into a terminal alias. More about this in the resources that will get sent around. This will trigger something called password injection. So Claude only ever sees this, but when it runs a command, the 1Password CLI tool will replace this with the actual secret that'll get injected. And then you don't have to work with bare secrets in a text file. Does that make sense?
Amazing. Yes, this is so helpful. Noor, thank you so much for asking that question, like asking what all of us would like to ask, but we're not. There are a couple of questions that I think can be answered in the chat if anybody wants to hop in there and help us out. Like Aaron had asked, is there an equivalent to the CLI 1Password functionality and Apple passwords on Mac? I do not know. Maybe
Yeah, you
Joey
can use
knows.
Keychain. It doesn't have the same, I don't think Keychain has the same password injection thing. But I do know that people use Keychain with AI agents. So there's some way to do it. I've just never done it.
Okay. And then Isla asking amazing questions still, but I want to hold them a little bit to the end so we can get through these because they're more overarching questions that I think we might answer as we go through a little bit as well. Um, Also, Amelia put a resource in there about Bitwarden. Bitwarden also has a CLI. Let's go ahead and review our implementation plan from Claude.
Nice. So after I've asked Claude Code to go into planning mode, you can also, there are hotkeys to turn planning mode on, but you can just ask it in natural language. And now it's put together a plan. Okay, here are these colors that we asked for. Now it's going to tell, ready to code? Ooh, yes, I feel ready. So context, we're doing a live demo, blah, blah, blah. Just moving through this. Here's our build order. Fine. What we're going to do with the data. Okay, cool. Key technical decisions. I don't we're moving fast, so I don't care. Cut list if running over time. Um, and then, okay, Claude Code has written up a plan and is ready to execute. Would you like to proceed? And then you'll be asked, yes, or if we had more time, we might manually approve edits, okay, if I were working on this for real. Or, um, you know, I might tell it to change some stuff, change something about the tech stack. I'm just going to say yes, and we're just going to YOLO, like yeet this into the AI sphere and just like see what happens. So this is going to be cooking for a bit, and I'm happy to. What were we going to something? I think more people had questions that you were going to ask.
Well, Isabella has one. Isabella, you want to ask?
Yeah, I saw that it gave the option to clear context and it said 4%. What does that mean?
Oh, that's a great question. Okay, so let's get out of this. Actually, let's open up a new terminal.
That's so
Um,
nice that you're just like, we'll just open up a fresh one.
it's honestly so nice. I'm gonna open up just like a raw Claude session,
This
and
is
I'm
how
gonna
I
use
do it in
this.
Positron too. I'm like constantly just opening another instance, another session, another console.
Yeah, Positron is great about that. By the way, I use Positron a lot as sometimes these days kind of my main IDE.
Yeah, me
Um,
too. I was in our studio for R and Positron for Python for a good year. And now I'm just in Positron. I haven't opened up our studio in a while, but I still open it. It's still my default for opening MD files. So every time I click an MD file, our studio opens up and I'm like, hey, our studio. Okay, so I talked over what you did. You did slash context.
yes, and okay, so um, I may be mansplaining a lot of stuff that people already know, but
No, please
um,
explain it because it'll be great for, I mean, it'll be great for me. Selfishly, I want to know all of these things. I'm a very baby claw user.
Yeah,
got
and
it.
I got that message the other day and I was like, I don't know what this means. Like, will it delete everything that we've talked about or things like that?
That no, it's such a good question, and it's a great thing to talk about while Claude is doing stuff. Oh, wait a minute. Claude is waiting for my input.
Uh-oh, let's review real quick. We can let it cook again.
Oh,
I
no,
love
no,
that it
it's
tells
not.
you needs input.
Yeah, that's a nice thing about cmux, and it will also alert your Claude will send it a little hook that will give you a desktop alert. Um, okay, so what's an LLM doing? It's not doing anything magic. A lot of it you can think back to your early like text analysis and NLP principles. A chatbot essentially is taking your prompt, tokenizing it. You probably remember from early days that a token is just a fundamental unit of language. Claude, GPT, all the various LLMs tokenize in different ways. They might be usually parts of words or even really Claude tokenizes really aggressively. So even like a character space is like a token. Stop is a token, like stop generating text. Those are all tokens. But anyway, it's going to tokenize your thing. It's going to get your prompt. It's going to get its sentence embedding, kind of its sort of semantic, kind of like its coordinates in highly dimensional semantic space. That's not exactly accurate, but it's a nice heuristic of how to think about sentence embeddings. And its working memory can only hold so many tokens at once. And before last week, Claude Opus 4.6 could hold a total of like 200,000 tokens. So whenever you're having this conversation thread, these tokens are going back and forth between you and the LLM, and its context window is filling up, filling up, filling up, filling up, larger than it can handle. And when that happens, it's a real problem. First of all, anecdotally, I see performance issues whenever my context window gets close to the end.
Mm,
But
yeah.
more importantly, when your context window fills completely up, you can't prompt Claude anymore. So it will automatically do something called compact the conversation, which is it will write its own summary of the conversation thread and then clear everything else out of memory. Now you can trigger that compact yourself, /compact, and you can even write your own summary of the conversation thread. Now, as of last week, or maybe over the weekend, the context window for Opus is now 1 million tokens. It's 5x the
Yeah,
size.
it expanded.
Hmm.
Saw a lot of chatter on Reddit about that this weekend.
People are hyped. I mean, I'm
Hmm.
hyped. It's nice. Um, And if you do /context in a Claude Code session, you can see this really helpful. I just love little visualizations in the terminal. Oh, what creative way can we come up with to have little characters that mean stuff and make kind of a graph? It's just like a fun data viz challenge. Uh, so this is basically telling us that 3 units of this are consumed with its system prompt. That's like stuff that Anthropic gives it. Don't be evil. You are an AI agent, whatever. It has like a
Don't actively
constitution.
harm things. Yeah.
Anthropic has a, philosopher on staff.
Oh,
She
wow.
researches like morality and
Well,
she,
good.
yeah, that
I'm
seems
I'm glad.
positive. Um, and then there are a few skills. We haven't talked about skills yet, but Claude Code skills are like markdown files that tell it how to do stuff that is useful to you.
Yeah, we could have a
Um,
whole day science lab about skills, probably. Oh, time check. We have 15 minutes left.
all right, let's hurry up.
Thank you.
Claude.
Thank you.
Hey, Frog Finder is live at this URL.
What? Already? Like it deployed
Uh,
it?
I mean, I gave it my
Exciting.
Vercel token. Okay, messages. This is stuff that I've sent back and forth to it, whatever. Eventually, this will get almost full. And then it has a little auto compact buffer, so it doesn't let you go above this. So when it's getting around here, you want to compact your conversation. Okay, GitHub auto linking failed. Needs a Vercel login connection for that GitHub org. Ah, that's right. I haven't authorized Vercel and GitHub to communicate with each other. But the deployment works via direct upload. Okay, I can connect the repo in Vercel settings later. Okay, well, I mean, let's look at the let's see let's see what it came up with. People don't really say vibe coding anymore, but if that word still existed, this would be the most vibe coded anything has ever been. Okay, let me grab a browser. I'm so anxious about this. Okay, to get started, am I like
This is
not logged in
actually
or something?
this is actually the part where I usually fail with Claude is the deployment part where like I don't have things hooked up in the background for it with my PAT and stuff like that. Um, and things fall through the cracks. But I'm
Okay,
curious about how this will work. Please feel
here's
free
what
to
we're
log
gonna
in on the side if you need to.
we're gonna give Claude a browser and let it look at the browser itself. So I have a Chrome browser with the Claude extension. So here we go. When I visit that URL, I just see some stuff from Vercel asking me to deploy the project. I'm not sure that that worked. Can you tell me what could be wrong? Is the URL wrong? Also, you are authorized to use a Chrome browser if you just want to go to that URL directly, and then you can tell me what the problem is. Okay, let's see what it's going to do. Okay, it's going to do stuff in the browser. We can watch it. I recently asked it to book some flights for me using the browser, and it did better than you think.
Time check. 12
Um,
minutes left.
we weren't, I think we finished the conversation about context, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And David had asked if that 1 million token change applied to all paid levels. I don't know, but I think yes. I'm Googling, and that's why I said I think yes, but not totally sure. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody, by the way. I'm wearing green. Are you wearing green? I'm very Irish. Okay. Claude is still thinking. And so I'm going to pop over to Joe's question in the chat, which is, so you can switch back and forth between the model during the same session depending on what you need, or do you have to stick with a single model while you're in that one session? Because you can slash model, right, Joey?
Yes. Was the
So,
question, can you switch models in the middle of a session?
mhm.
Oh,
I've never done that. Good question.
I tend not to do that either. I don't know. I don't know if that would wipe your context. Maybe? Does someone else know? I actually don't know the answer to that.
If you know the answer, put it in the chat. Um, my gut tells me that you would have to re re-give it all the stuff, right? You'd have to re-give it your context, your Cloud MD file, all that stuff.
I would think, but I actively do not know.
David says it does for all paid API.
Oh, like you can't, David is saying you can switch back and forth?
That one was for the 1 million token expansion for the context window. So thank you, David, for checking up on that. Yeah, Joe says, I guess we could ask Claude itself. We could, I don't know. This is something that we will have to try. Okay, I
You know what's
think,
interesting is often the models don't know that much about themselves because they were trained on data in a world before that model existed. Claude will try
yeah,
to reference
sometimes
its
it's
own
not
docs,
instant.
but yeah.
I have a question from Ijlal. Curious to know what resources you would recommend to learn all of this stuff. How did you learn all this stuff, Joey?
Oh,
Blogs? YouTube videos? Trying and failing yourself?
well, you could join the data science hangout Discord and a lot.
Yeah, so the Discord where you are right now is a great place to hang out with people. We have an AI and LLM channel. When I remember asking Hadley this question not that long ago, and he was like, blogs. I read a million blogs. And I think that that's a great answer. And I've watched a million YouTube videos as well. Isabella, how about you? What have you learned from?
Yeah, I also find like Anthropic has like a course marketplace, and they're fairly short and from like the foundational. So I've taken a few of those as well. Oh my
Oh my
God!
gosh.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna drop this URL in the chat so other people can go there too. I guess if everyone goes there, you might blow up my
Let's give
$20
it
a
the
month
hug of death,
bill.
everybody.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. What can we see? Oh, there we go. Okay, I can click on a circle. Oh, it just makes an automatic circle. I kind of wanted to draw a circle. Oh, I can increase the
You have a
radius. Here we go.
radius.
There we go. And then this tells me the species found
Oh, and it says
within.
at the top, it says 41 species found within 90 kilometers of where we are centered, which is kind of around Brisbane.
Huh.
Look at all of those little froggy dudes. Oh, they're so cute.
So this kind of worked. Can I click on that? Does this do anything? No.
It does tell you how many observations there are, though, for each one. So for red tree frog, we have 27 observations. Tells us its scientific name as well as it has its common name as the bolded heading. Super cute. And we
Let's
do
grab
have
this
our
from.
cottagecore, very cute desert temple vibe stuff going on.
Yeah.
We
Did
did this
this
in
create
like half
my?
an hour because we talked for a lot of this, right? And in the beginning, and we're 52 minutes in, we have 8 minutes left. And we have a thing that is mostly working as long as we can verify that it is correct.
Right. Yeah. I mean, maybe not like ready to, you know. But I mean, yeah.
But for a
We.
POC, proof of
I.
concept, this is great.
I think so. Yeah. I don't hate it.
Yeah,
Um.
Amelia asked, can the next iteration of this map use frog emojis instead of dots for the location?
Ooh. Okay. Click anywhere on the
Maybe in the
map to
next
discover frog.
6 minutes, we can ask Claude to do that. It might take too long to cook.
Oh, to use frog emojis?
Yeah, instead of those dots.
Oh, I like that.
I
Can
like
you
it too.
use frog emojis rather than dots and then redeploy? Oh, also. Did you push this to my GitHub? I want to share the GitHub repo with people. This is how much I don't know about what's happening under the hood right now. Like, I don't even know that this has been pushed to my. I normally don't work in quite this sloppy of a fashion. Oh, yes, it is on GitHub. Okay, let's see. Oh no, it pushed to my work GitHub, not my personal GitHub.
No.
I'll put it on my personal GitHub and then I'll put it in the Discord.
Yeah, Anna says it's kind of weird that the dots are equally spaced. Like put them in a grid. I wonder,
That is weird.
I haven't looked at the lat long data, but I'm wondering if that's a limitation of the data or if it did that on its own and it just like uh aggregated within a grid.
Hmm.
I don't know.
That's a question we would want to ask it,
Yeah.
like about the choices it made. And we'd fine tune this as we went, for a real thing.
Does anybody know if the images are in that data set for the frogs? I don't believe that they are.
Oh,
No.
like where did it get these
Yeah.
images?
Do you want to ask it like, hey, where did you get the images for these frogs?
Such a good question.
Yeah. And
Where
So
did you
Amelia
slash
get the
mentioned
command
that.
images for the
BTW.
frogs?
Oops, we all talked at the same time. So
Sorry.
Joey asked it, where did you get the images for the frogs out loud with dictation? And he used the slash command BTW to insert something while it's cooking.
Oh, it got
Yeah.
them from Wikipedia.
A few folks mentioned that it was actually in the plan. That's
Oh, we just
uh,
missed it because we
yeah.
were trying to go fast.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, thanks. I had
Thanks, Aaron.
forgotten.
Aaron let us know that it told us in the project specs it was going to pull them from Wikipedia. Okay. Yeah, Amelia, same question. I'm really curious about how accurately it did it, though. That's the kind of thing that when I am working with Claude, I am constantly cherry picking to check myself. I'll go like grab five of them and then I'll go look them up myself. Um, and I'll try to make sure that I'm verifying that things are coming through correctly. So we
We
have
would also
4
build a
minutes
whole bunch of
left.
unit tests to double check
Yeah.
its work.
We are, for clarity, we're going so fast right now, right? Because we had an hour, more like 50 minutes to do this stuff. We wanted to see how much we could get Claude to do in sort of a one shot here. Oh, frog emojis are live. Are they still in a grid? Or if we zoom in, are these randomly spaced froggies? They are still in a grid. How
There-
curious. But some of the frogs are larger, and that's why my question was like maybe it's aggregating them into a grid and it's basing the emoji size on the end value of how many frogs there are. I don't know. Tom says, I don't like the frog emoji. It's like a space alien. I love it. Plague of Frogs, says Newer. This is very biblical. Okay. Oh, Darren, I'm so glad you're here.
Oh, they're just put in grid cells. So a tenth of a degree. Oh, we would have to get into the details of like what is that in this projection? Yeah, I don't even know how this map is projected. It's a leaflet map, so maybe it's Mercator by default. So a
Yeah, I
tenth
bet
of a
it is
degree.
Mercator by default. I like the little explanation though. Small, medium, and large. Small, fewer species. Bigger, moderate diversity. Um, yeah, this is something we would have to dig into, which we
Oh, it's guessing
probably
11 kilometer squares.
okay.
Does that vary going away from the equator? Probably. I don't think these would be equal area grids. That's getting into the weeds of like geography stuff. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Um,
Plus, Australia is a huge place.
right.
Amazing. Well, this got us so far. We learned so much. There are a million links in the chat, but also when this video ends up on YouTube, if you are looking at the YouTube videos, all of the links you could possibly want are in the description. They are usually just like stacked with links. And if anything is ever missing from those, send me a message on Discord and I will go fix them and just add stuff to the descriptions in YouTube. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Isabella, thank you for hanging out. Joey, I hope you had a wonderful time. Thank you so much for
Thank
sharing your knowledge with us.
This was fun. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, everybody say thanks to Joey in the chat. This was so much
you.
fun. I learned so much. Bye, everybody.